Okay, so the book kind of talked a little bit about pivot tables and using graphs, and kind of gave the same example we did the week before. So I just thought I'd go through this example and just kind of produce a couple of pivot table graphs. So let's just kind of go back, get a pivot table. So just Control Shift down arrow, right arrow, select the area, and let's again have a pivot table. And we're going to put in the existing worksheet, and we're going to put it, yeah, just put it over here a little bit. And there we go. And let's just create something similar to what we did last time. We're not going to use any of the advanced features this time, but let's just summarize the amount of sales, the total sum of the sales by both region and by the product. Sorry, missed that one. So we have sales by region and by DVD and versus book. So let's just kind of have a quick look at what sort of graphs we can actually do here. Let's just and what you can do is you can go back to insert and you can go insert pivot chart. Now, if you didn't already have a pivot table, you'd be able to create a new pivot table. But here we're just going to click pivot chart and it's going to use the existing chart. And you can see the different types of graphs. So this would be for each of the regions, we could have book versus DVD. We could also do it in kind of the stacked format. We could do it in a proportion of sales format. And then we could have the fancy 3D versions. And again, this was what I was trying to warn you against in my main video this week. Not overly fancy, but not without showing you too much. And we could maybe also do something. A line chart really doesn't actually work in this instance because, you know, we're going across qualitative variables. So we're probably just better as either a column chart, or we could do the same thing as like, you know, horizontally as a bar chart. So let's just kind of, yeah, let's do this one. Now this pivot chart could actually be thought of as live. You see, we could actually, you know, select only certain regions. Here we just get the south and the west. We could also just mess around with, if we get rid of book, then we just have a very simple bar graph. So anything you can do in the pivot table, you can actually do as well in the graph. Now let's just do something a bit fancy. Let's just filter by payment. So again, we could just look at credit card transactions, or we could just look at maybe PayPal transactions. Let's remove that. The last little thing. Now, do bear in mind that one pivot table goes to one graph. So if we change the data around, it's going to change the graphing format. But let's just say select change chart type. Let's just have a bar graph here. And let's just say we change how we do this. So we put region and product like we did before, all under just each being a row. So kind of the product is kind of almost a subcategory of region. Then it's a simple bar graph, but kind of you can see in the index that this is kind of you know, you have the category and then you kind of have the subcategory. Okay, so it's just, you know, it's just like a little automate. The pivot table just kind of, you can create graphs as you create the pivot table. And in a way, it's just another way of exploring the data. Okay, that was just it for pivot table chart.